2, 3, come on!
So, last time we ended the story with Ken watching Zoro and Luffy leave the island that Morgan was on. Ken decides to also leave the island and arrives on a random island. He gets hungry and heads to a ramen store where he can eat his favorite food. He sits down and before he can have one line of ramen in his mouth, he feels a sword pushing against his neck, with whoever handling the blade ready to decapitate Ken. Ken then hears everyone scared for his life, and he also hears a feminine voice saying, "Killing a marine? Unacceptable. Plus, a 1 million berry bounty. I want that money." Ken then closes his eyes and says, "Sorry, I have a mission." Ken then disappears and then appears behind this girl with his sword raised. Before the sword hits her, the girl blocks it, and the shockwave obliterates the shop. Ken then gets a good view at her. She's a ninja with one katana. She then disappears and says, "Vanishing step." Ken can't keep up and gets sliced multiple times. He then says, "One sword style, death tracker," as he barely slices this girl's cheek. She then does the same to him. Then Ken does sticks his hand out to where she's circling, and she then stops while close to the blade. Ken then holds her and puts her in a headlock. Of course, as you normally do. He then says, "Who are you? What do you want?" This girl responds, "I am Iris, a ninja from Wano Kuni, and I want your bounty." Ken looks confused and says, "Wano Kuni?" He then shakes the star and gets up and, releases her from the headlock. Ken then says, "Do you want to hunt people with high bounties and get the revenue?" Iris then responds with, "Yes." Ken looks at her and says, "Then join me in hunting the pirates. And with a team, we could someday take out a Yonko. And they have high bounties." Iris then smiles and says, "Fine, but you need to prove your strength to me." Ken responds with, "How? Like, how is he gonna do this?" Iris says, There's a pirate group on an island. My friends live there, but I'm too weak to save them." Ken then says, "Directions, please," as they go on their little tiny, tiny, teeny, tiny dinghy. Iris navigates the island perfectly. They then arrive on the island. Or Ken and Iris arrive on the island, I should say, where they see a girl running away from 3 men. Ken then tells Iris to handle that, as he sees Luffy getting dropped. He jumps up and kicks Luffy away, destroying 2 buildings. When Luffy opens his eyes, he sees a sword pointed at his head. Ken then looks behind himself and sees a giant lion roaring at both of them. They then see a person on the top who says, "You are in the territory of us, the buggy pirates, bastards." The lion then raises its paws and smacks it down. Ken jumps away but leaves Luffy there. Luffy then raises the lion paw and screams at Ken, saying, "Hey, did you want me to die?" Luffy then punches the lion away as Ken captures the lion tamer and throws him to the ground. Ken then puts a sword right next to, let's just call him Moji's head, and then says, "What's your bounty?" Moji is terrified and doesn't speak, or should I say, he basically cannot speak. Ken then drags his sword to the other side of Moji's head, decapitating him. Ken then throws that same sword at an unsuspecting Luffy, stabbing his arm and pinning him to a wall. Luffy then smiles when Ken walks up to him as he says, "Gomu Gomu no! Balloon!" Luffy then inflates, forcing the blade out of his hand, and then deflates and flies away. Ken then goes to where Iris should be and doesn't see her. He is then panicked, and somehow he feels her presence as well as Nami's. Ken then snarls and says, "That bastard." Ken heads to the location where he sees Iris about to get blown away by a buggy ball. The ball gets shot, and Ken attempts to block it with his sword. He then finally draws his Owazamono Great Sword Dawn for the first time in this series. Even when he was fighting against Luffy, he didn't do this. He then slices With a lot of efforts, I should say, he slices the cannonball in four, but he's exhausted. He then stares at Buggy, who looks mad. He cuts up Iris's cage, and they both team up to take out the evil pirates. Luffy then lands on the ground unconscious as Zoro looks through the island looking for his friend, Monkey D. Luffy. So yes, that is the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. This one is shorter than the other one. The other one was about 10 minutes long. This one's about 5 minutes long. But yeah, hope you guys still enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and yeah. See you guys next time. Peace out.